2025 new speaking questions for the IELTS speaking test. Today's video is on the topic of stories. First, I'll give you some model answers to the questions. Then I'm going to highlight some of the high-level vocabulary that has been used in the model answers. Do you like listening to or reading stories?
Honestly, I love a good story. Whether it's a gripping novel, an inspiring real-life account, or even a well-told anecdote from a friend, I find stories captivating. They transport me to different worlds and allow me to experience things I might never encounter in real life. That said, I do prefer reading over listening. I like to take my time and really immerse myself in the details.
What kind of stories do you enjoy the most?
To be fair, my taste in stories depends on my mood. Sometimes I gravitate towards thrillers or mysteries because I enjoy the suspense and the challenge of figuring things out before the big reveal. Other times, I prefer biographies or historical narratives because they give me a sense of perspective on real-life events. But if I just want to unwind, light-hearted comedy or feel-good fiction is my go-to.
Did your parents tell you stories when you were a child?
Absolutely. My mum used to tell me bedtime stories almost every night when I was little. Some were classic fairy tales, while others were stories from her own childhood. I also remember my grandparents sharing folk tales and moral stories, which, looking back, were probably their way of teaching me valuable life lessons. It was a big part of my childhood and definitely sparked my love for storytelling.
Do you prefer real-life stories or fictional ones?
That's a tough one. I think both have their place, but if I had to choose, I'd go with fiction. There's just something about escaping into a completely different world that I find fascinating. That being said, I do enjoy real-life stories, especially when they're inspiring or teach me something new. It really depends on my mood and what I want to get out of the story.
Now, let's have a look at some of the high-level vocabulary.
1. Absolutely. Completely or entirely, used to emphasize agreement or certainty. 2. Anecdote. A short, interesting, or amusing story about a real incident or person. 3. Biographies. Books or accounts of a person's life, written by someone else. 4. Captivating. Extremely interesting or engaging. 5. Classic. Timeless and widely recognized as valuable or important. 6. Fairy tales. Traditional children's stories with magical elements. 7. Fascinating. Very interesting and engaging. 8. Fiction. Stories that are made up rather than based on real events. 9. Gripping. Exciting and holding your attention. 10. Historical narratives. Stories based on historical events or periods. 11. Immerse. To deeply engage in something. 12. Inspiring. Making someone feel motivated or encouraged. 13. Perspective. A particular way of considering something. 14. Real-life accounts. True stories about events that have happened. 15. Reveal. The moment when something hidden becomes known. 16. Spark. To ignite or stimulate interest in something. 17. Suspense. A feeling of excitement or anxiety about what will happen next. 18. Thrillers. Stories full of suspense and excitement, often involving crime or mystery. 19. Transport. To make someone feel like they are in another place or time. 20. Unwind. To relax after a period of stress or activity. Colloquial expressions. 1. A gripping novel. A book that is so interesting you can't stop reading it. 2. A big part of my childhood. Something that played a major role in growing up. 3. Go-to. Something that is a preferred choice in certain situations. 4. Looking back, reflecting on the past. 5. Sparked my love for, created or started my passion for something. 6. gravitate towards, to be naturally drawn to or prefer something. 7. Escape into a completely different world, to use stories as a way to experience something beyond reality. 8. Teach me something new, to gain knowledge or insight from a story. 9. Figure things out before the big reveal, to solve a mystery before it is officially revealed in the story. 10. Depends on my mood. My preference changes depending on how I feel. List of ideas for talking about stories. Why you like or dislike stories. 1. Enjoyment of imagination versus preference for real-world facts. 2. Interest in different cultures, time periods, or genres. 3. Whether stories are engaging or feel like a waste of time. Types of stories you enjoy. 1. Fiction versus non-fiction. 2. Favorite genres: mystery, fantasy, thriller, biography, etc. 3. How different types of stories serve different moods. Childhood experiences with stories. 1. Bedtime stories told by parents. 2. Fairy tales, folk tales, and cultural stories. 3. Stories used as moral lessons for children. Preference for real life versus fictional stories. 1. Real life, learning from others' experiences, history, or inspiration. 2. Fiction, entertainment, creativity, and escape from reality.
If you found the video useful, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you'll get updates when I release them. Best of luck preparing for your test.